Life to say I work at WBZ, and I have no intention of stopping. I'm still teaching and doing VO work and producing and podcasting. So, I'm honored to guide you through the evening's festivities. We have a full program of guests and tributes, awards, camaraderie, dinner, and entertainment for you tonight. We're very aware that some of you, and I've been talking to a few of you colleagues of mine, are morning people. You have to get up a little early, like 4. How many people get up 4 or 5 o'clock to do morning radio? I did it for 15 or 18 years. We all suffer from sleep guilt when it's 9, 10, 11 o'clock and we can't fall asleep. But we'll get you guys going so you won't have any issues falling asleep. Now, here are some of tonight's Soundbite program highlights. We'll hear from the Honorable Senator Ed Markey, who will be addressing the group via video. He wishes he could be here tonight, but as you know, Washington has been a rather hectic place right now. And also helping us to make sense of the broadcast landscape in Washington will be the Senior VP of Government Relations, Josh Pollack, of the National Association of Broadcasters. And I met Josh, he's a great guy, and we're going to hear from him shortly. Give us an update on critical issues, things like AM radio and automobiles. Whose idea was it to do away with AM radio and automobiles? Nobody in this room, I can tell you that. Transmission, retransmission consent for our TV members, and the temperature overall on Capitol Hill. And every year, we look forward to hearing from the Massachusetts Army National Guard, and tonight we'll be joined for the second time by Captain Alexander Lindsay. I say captain because last time he was a first lieutenant when he first joined us. So we want to say congratulations, Captain, on your promotion, and thank you for your service. Also, this is just the highlight reel. Also, we will be presenting our first ever Broadcast Champion Award. And of course, MBA Executive Director, the other one, Jordan Walton, will be providing an update on all things MBA while conducting the very highly anticipated and very much loved annual meeting of the association. He promises, though, it'll be a very easy transition. Jordan will be our opening act for the very funny man, Jimmy Dunn. And if you've watched Frasier, the new version of Frasier, you've seen Jimmy as Moose, and he's a great, great guy. His second appearance here, and we can't wait to see him. And of course, we'll honor the best of the best in radio and television over the past 12 months with the 2023 MBA Sound Bites Awards, including our salute to Hot 96.9's Pebbles, our 2023 Broadcaster of the Year. Pebbles, I haven't seen you in so long, and I'm so happy for you. This is the greatest, man. This is just great. Please spread the word tonight on your socials by using the hashtag SoundBites2023, and the MBA will be tweeting results of the award winners, just like they do at the Oscars throughout the evening. So that's why it's good of us to keep things moving. So we've got a great lineup. It's time to get things started. And the first order of business is going to Washington to take a look at what Senator Markey has to say. He's been a critical player in keeping AM radio in passenger cars, introducing the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act earlier this year. The senator recorded this video to discuss the future of AM radio in Washington. Your attention, please. Senator Markey, take it away.
Hello, I'm so excited to join you at the Massachusetts Association of Broadcasters Sound Bites Conference. We've been through some rough fights over the years, and today we are in another battle to save AM radio. Automakers have been removing broadcast AM radio from their new electric vehicles, arguing that AM radio is outdated and incompatible with electric cars. Well, the truth is just the opposite. AM radio is the backbone of our emergency alert system. It is the source of news, of weather, of sports, and entertainment for tens of millions of listeners every single day. And it is a crucial part of our diverse media ecosystem. And I'm here to send a loud and clear message to the automakers: you cannot tune out AM radio. Earlier this year, Senator Ted Cruz and I introduced the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to ensure that AM radio is installed in every vehicle. And I'm proud that in July, the Senate Commerce Committee passed our bill by a voice vote. Now, I know Ted Cruz and I are actually partnering on this bill. Pigs are flying. Hell has frozen over. Markey and Cruz agree. If Ted Cruz and Ed Markey actually agree about something, it should really make the opposition rethink its position. Of course, this isn't the first time that AM radio has been under threat. In 1980, a pop group called the Buggles released a classic song, Video Killed the Radio Star. That song's iconic chorus goes, video killed the radio star in my mind and in my car. Well, here's the thing. The Buggles were wrong. Video didn't kill the radio star, and it definitely didn't kill the radio star in the car. Fast forward 43 years, though the Buggles would need to update their lyrics to automakers killed the radio star, we're still going to win. Because like video before it, the automakers will and must fail. So thank you for stepping into the ring for this battle, and thank you for the important service you provide to local Massachusetts communities every single day of the year, but especially those days when they need information the most. Thank you all for everything you do. We will win.
Thank you, Senator Markey. That's really nice from Senator Markey and Senator Cruz. We need their support. One thing for the radio people in the crowd, when I started in 1978 at WRKO, when it was still playing music, people would say to me, I listen to you because I don't have an FM in my car. And then when I worked for an FM station, WSSH, may it rest in peace, people would say to you, well, I don't listen to you because I want the news and the weather and the traffic on AM radio. So I was caught between a rock and a hard place. So I decided to stay with WBZ, and it's the best move I ever made, because we're still 50,000 watts of unmitigated power. So take that. All right. Our next guest serves as Senior Vice President, Government Relations for the National Association of Broadcasters. Prior to joining NAB, he served as a Special Assistant to the President for Legislative Affairs at the White House and was President Obama's primary liaison to dozens of U.S. senators from both parties, as well as the Senate Judiciary and Commerce Committees. He also guided hundreds of the President's nominees through the Senate confirmation process, including nominees for the Supreme Court and Attorney General. He served for 6 years as a legislative aide to U.S. Senator Paul Sarbanes, and he even clerked for U.S. District Judge Raymond Dearie in the Eastern District of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the NAB's Josh Pollack.
Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it. Well, thank you, Jordan, for that very kind introduction, and a very special thanks to Massachusetts Association of Broadcasters, and particularly Jordan Walton for inviting me here today. Flew up from D.C. earlier this afternoon. I just have to brag on Jordan for a second here, because we interact with state broadcast associations from around the country and different broadcast executives, and there's some really terrific folks all over the country. I do have to say, Jordan has done just a tremendous job for you all in DC as an advocate, and has really become one of the leading voices among the other state broadcaster associations in terms of leading legislative efforts on the Hill. So thank you, Jordan. Really appreciate all of your work. Well, I guess the big question is how to follow Senator Markey. I mean, he really, that was a terrific encapsulation of what's really going on Capitol Hill right now with regard to AM radio. A little more than a year ago, we didn't realize that we would be having this fight, but it was really Senator Markey who was the earliest warning voice out there as to what's going on in terms of AM in the car. Almost exactly a year ago, Senator Markey took the first step, which was he had started to hear about these different car manufacturers, particularly in the electric vehicle space, that were beginning to eliminate AM radio in the dash. And he took it upon himself to write a letter to all of the major domestic and foreign automakers, 20 of them in total, asking them what the heck are their plans? What are you guys doing? Are you taking it out? Are you keeping it in? What's the plan here? He sent those letters in December of last year. Didn't get a response from most of the manufacturers until March. But at that time found out that there were a good number of car makers that were still keeping AM, about 12 out of the 20, but there were plenty that were taking it out. And again, the biggest concern was with a number of these up and coming electric vehicle manufacturers. The purported reason they give for taking AM out of the car is interference issues with the EV batteries and AM radio. While there may be some validity to some of that, we know that that's a problem that can be solved because a lot of the car makers that are putting AM out there with their EVs have solved that problem. So, as I said, something like 12 out of the 20 car manufacturers were continuing to put AM out. Fast forward, after receiving those responses, Senator Markey was even more infuriated than he was before, and he went to work on drafting legislation, the bill that he referred to, the AM for Every Vehicle Act, which would essentially require every car manufacturer, whether it's a foreign or domestic manufacturer, whether it's EV or a traditional combustible fuel engine, that they are required, following a rulemaking from the Department of Transportation, they will be required to keep AM radio in the cars. This is an issue that really cuts across both parties. It's not a partisan issue, as he said. This is the Ed Markey, Ted Cruz bill. And he introduced that bill in May of this year. 2 days after that bill was introduced, just showing the force of that bill introduction alone, Ford, who had said that they were going to take AM out of all of their Mustangs, both in the coming model year and all future years, put out a public statement reversing that decision. Not only putting it, changing their plans in the future model year, but for cars where they had already taken it out, they flipped a switch with their electric vehicles, did a software update, and brought AM back. So this legislation, even though it hasn't yet become law, it's already shown to have been incredibly powerful tool in terms of pressuring the auto manufacturers. So fast forward to July. That bill, which was before the Senate Commerce Committee, one of the committees that Senator Markey serves on, that bill was passed out of the committee on a so-called voice vote. Only one senator, Senator Peters from Michigan, who obviously represents the auto industry, he was the only member of either party on that committee to vote against the bill. That is a huge accomplishment, both in terms of the near unanimity of support for the bill, but also the pace with which that bill went through the Senate. To get through a committee like that in only 2 to 3 months after the bill has been introduced, I wouldn't say it's unprecedented, but it's incredibly rare. And I don't need to tell you all about the current climate in Washington. To have a bipartisan bill like that move is increasingly rare. So that was a huge leap forward. Following that bill's passage out of the Senate Commerce Committee, of course, the bill now has to be passed by the full Senate. And we now have, as of today, because we just got 2 more co-sponsors today, we have 42 United States senators that are co-sponsoring that bill. That is split down the middle, 50-50, 21 Democrats, 21 Republicans. And that's, as you know, there are 100 United States senators, and almost half of them are now not only supportive of the bill, but actually signed on as co-sponsors. This bill has gotten the attention of a lot of folks in Washington, D.C., and with good reason. I don't want to leave out the House side here, because that is also important. We're seeing the most immediate movement on the Senate side. But the House bill, now there's an identical bill in the House that was introduced by Congressman Gottheimer from New Jersey. That bill has 181 co-sponsors, including, and again, kudos to you all and to Jordan and the teams that you all have sent to DC to lobby on behalf of this bill. 6 out of the 9 members of the congressional delegation from Massachusetts are co-sponsors of the bill. So huge round of applause there. So as Senator Markey said, the work is not done, but we will win. We are working through, as you can imagine, the electric vehicle lobby and the auto manufacturer lobby is quite powerful on Capitol Hill. It's really amazing that we've come as far as we have, given the strength of those lobbying forces. There are a number of senators that have concerns about the cost that AM radio will incur for some of these EV manufacturers and other issues. We are working with those senators to work through their concerns, and we're hopefully going to resolve those. Look, the goal here is to get this bill attached to some sort of must-pass piece of legislation and get it passed by unanimous consent in the Senate, and then send it over to the House and have the same thing happen over there. So it's an exciting time. It's obviously a scary time as a radio broadcaster, but I think what this exercise has shown us over the past many months is just how much support there is on Capitol Hill for radio. So we are cautiously optimistic that we will get this passed and signed into law. On the television side, I want to just pivot for a second and talk about an issue that NAB has been advocating on. A very different issue here, and I know this is an issue that within the industry there are some different voices and different feelings about from local affiliates and networks and so forth, and that's the issue of so-called virtual MVPDs. That's really the streaming services. We all know that, traditionally or for many years now, the ways that local television stations have survived is not only advertising, but the retransmission consent fees that are contracted with the cable and satellite companies and really keep local television alive. In 2014, the Federal Communications Commission started a proceeding to determine whether streaming services should be characterized as MVPDs for the purposes of retransmission consent. So basically, whether to treat streaming services like cable and satellite has been for many years. That proceeding was never closed. The record was never closed. And here we are 9 years forward. And obviously, the video marketplace has changed dramatically, and streaming services have, they've exploded in those interceding years. So what NAB, and again, I will just recognize here that NAB's membership is not unanimous on this front. At NAB, we have network members, we have affiliate members, and the NAB board has come down on the side of local affiliates here. And so for the past many months, we have been advocating on Capitol Hill that the FCC reopen that record, refresh that record, to show all of the changes that have happened in the marketplace since 2014. We are not advocating for any particular outcome. We're not telling the FCC what to do, but what we are saying simply is the FCC should be looking at the marketplace changes over the past 9 years. Senator Maria Cantwell, who's the chair of the Commerce Committee, the same committee we were just talking about on AM, and I should say she is also a strong supporter of AM and a co-sponsor of that bill. She wrote a letter to the chair of the FCC, Jessica Rosenworcel, in June, asking her to refresh that record. She has not heard back from Chair Rosenworcel since she sent that on June 22nd. A month ago, a follow-up letter was sent by a number of members of the Senate Commerce Committee and members that are not on the Senate Commerce Committee, essentially as a follow-up to the letter from Senator Cantwell, urging the FCC commissioners, this one was sent to the entire 5-member FCC, urging them to refresh the record on the VMVPD issue. Senator Markey was a signatory to that letter. Senator Warren was also a signatory to that letter. There were 20 Democratic senators that signed that letter at the end of the day. So that's really the big issue on the television side that we are following at NAB now. And a number of other important issues, but those are really our 2 big radio and television priorities. Thank you all and enjoy your dinner. Thanks.
Josh, thank you so much for your advocacy and for your support and for your professionalism. We appreciate that. As we move along, this is my favorite part of the program so far because it has to do with public service and the connection that the Mass Broadcasters Association has with the Massachusetts National Guard. Our next guest is joining us for the second time. He is Captain, and I'm proud to say that, Captain Alexander Lindsay, currently serving as a Recruiting and Retention Officer for the Mass Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention Battalion. He's responsible for the management of all officer recruiting operations and ensures that the Guard is staffed with highly qualified leaders. There's no question about that. He originally enlisted in the Guard in 2011 as an infantryman and would later enroll into the UMass Amherst Army ROTC program, where he would receive his Bachelor of Arts in Journalism and a commission as a Human Resource Officer in May 2015. But here's the cool part, if you ask me. Captain Lindsay has served on multiple state activations along with his colleagues, including the Boston Marathon bombings in 2013 and the Merrimack Valley gas explosion response in 2018. And we couldn't do it without people like Captain Lindsay and his colleagues, both men and women from the National Guard, who are there when we need them, when we can't do what we need to do. Captain Lindsay has a passion for photography, and he loves spending time with his family, including his amazing wife, Charlene, and their 2-year-old corgi named Mango. Please join me in welcoming Massachusetts Army National Guard, now Captain Alexander Lindsay.
Well, firstly, I appreciate you guys having me come back. I was a little bit nervous in seeing if you guys actually wanted me back for a second time, so thank you. Before I begin, are there any folks in here tonight that are currently serving or veterans from Army, Navy, Air Force, or any service members, veterans here? Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you for what you've done for your country and the time you serve, or if it's 1 year, 4 years, 10 years, 20 years. On behalf of our organization, on behalf of me, thank you. I appreciate that. But as mentioned before, my name is Captain Alexander Lindsay. Previously, I was First Lieutenant Alexander Lindsay. Did this similar speech before, about 4 years ago, where I was about 1 pay grade less and probably 20 pounds lighter, and then COVID happened and didn't treat me well. I appreciate everyone being here tonight and letting me take a few minutes of your time to tell you about how appreciative this organization, the Massachusetts Army National Guard, and the soldiers that serve with that organization are for your support. To give a little background about myself, for those who may not know, I was raised around a news writing reporting lifestyle. My father, Richard Lindsay, spent over 30 years of his life dedicated to serving the Berkshire County community through local news broadcasting and news writing. He first started with a small AM radio station called Radio 860 WSBS in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, and then he eventually moved on to news writing and reporting for the Berkshire Eagle. He is now medically retired as he's unfortunately battling stage 4 cancer, but I can tell you for the last 6 years, he's been a fighter and a continuous survivor, and that's something I'm always be proud for. I love you, Dad. I know you're listening to this right now. So. I will never not be proud of that man. I can tell you that right now. And dads, we like to embarrass our kids, so it's my turn to embarrass my father. But it is extremely important today to be people in your position as journalists, broadcasters, in whichever profession. Right? All of you in this room have the extraordinary ability to report the facts quickly, clearly, and effectively to your listener base. Your dedication not only to the state of Massachusetts, but to New England as a whole in the community and their community's pursuit of knowledge cannot be praised enough. Additionally, your assistance in spreading the message of the Army National Guard, and particularly the Massachusetts Army National Guard, and our mission is greatly appreciated. The soldiers of the Army National Guard dedicate their craft, their lives, and their resources in supporting and defending the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the United States of America. Without your support in spreading the message of our mission, we would not achieve the level of success that we would today. So again, thank you. The Army National Guard is always in need of quality people who are dedicated to serve their country and are looking to fill its ranks. Excuse me. And we continue to ask for your support to continue to spread that message far and wide, from all the way from Lee, Massachusetts, where I was born, all the way down to the Cape and beyond. We ask you to continue spreading that message. So I wanted to be brief, so that way we can get on to the fun and to the comedians. But before I close out my remarks, and Jordan, you're going to be hearing this a lot today, but I too want to send a special thank you to Mr. Jordan Walton, who has been so supportive and so kind to us throughout all the years with the Massachusetts Army National Guard and making us feel welcome into this organization. And we cannot, on behalf of the Massachusetts Army National Guard, we cannot thank you enough for how much you've supported us. So again, thank you so much. And I don't know if Boston 25 is here or anything like that, but I will say I'll give a special shout out because I know Boston 25 recently did with Miss Rachel Keller and Ray Vieta, I hope I didn't butcher that name, who did the Who is Massachusetts Toughest, where those two went up against some of the state's finest, both from the Air Guard and the Army Guard side. And I'll be honest with you, if those two want to, come over to a recruiter's office one day to want to join up, you just let me know. We can make that happen for you. So a little special shout out to Boston 25 for doing that segment. That was really cool, and hopefully we see more of that down the road. And then, but that concludes for my my talk with you all today. Again, I wanted to be brief, but before I go, I wanted to say one more thing since the big game is coming up. Go Army, beat Navy. Thank you.
We totally concur. Thank you, Captain, and thank you, Massachusetts Army National Guard. Now, the Soundbite Awards have been honoring the best of Massachusetts television and radio for many years, since 2012. But broadcasters aren't the only ones contributing to the industry. The Mass Broadcasters Association has created a special award to recognize a broadcast champion, someone who's not directly related to broadcasting, but someone who has contributed to its ability to provide the kind of local news and entertainment listeners and viewers can rely on. So to introduce our first ever broadcast champion, please welcome MBA Chairman and President and General Manager of WCVB-TV, Kyle Grimes.
Captain, I would just say that it feels really appropriate to be here on the week of Veterans Day. The mission of the Guard, the mission of the broadcast community feels intertwined in our service mission to the residents of the Commonwealth. So thank you for your support of the broadcast community. On behalf of the Board of Directors, it is great to be with you tonight to celebrate the very best of broadcasting in Massachusetts. Before I get to this year's special honoree, I'd like to exercise a few points of privilege as the board chair. First and foremost, to continue the love fest for our Executive Director, Jordan Walton. While most of you only see Jordan on one night each year, this night, his year-round, day-in, day-out commitment to local broadcasting is extraordinary and appreciated. Thank you, Jordan, for all you do to support the work being done by all of those in this room. I'd also like to take a moment publicly to thank the other folks who made tonight possible. Please join me in a round of applause for Bert Paretsky, Tim Martin, Kayleen Chaucy, and Matt Provost. Finally, before I get to our broadcast champion, a few brief comments about the state of the world, where local broadcasters fit into that, and the work that needs to be done this year and in the years to come. In short, and without exaggeration, the work being done by the women and men in this room has never been more important than it is right now. Trusted local journalism, trusted local entertainers, trusted local institutions have never been more in need than they are today. At the same time, those who prop themselves up as doing that work without putting in the hard work, without getting the training, and most importantly, without supporting our communities, pull at the very threads of our democracy. To give any one of us a scalpel does not make us a surgeon. Giving an untrained person a platform or a microphone does not make them a broadcaster. The only people who will tell that story, stand up for our profession, are those in this room. Thank you. Those working at our stations. It's also something tonight's broadcast champion has been doing for more than two decades, standing by our side, telling our story, ensuring the future of local broadcasting is every bit as bright in the years to come. We're in the business of telling our stories with pictures, and we paint on that canvas, so a quick clip as we introduce our broadcast champion.
I understand you're a man that knows how to get things.
I'm known to locate certain things from time to time.
In life, everybody should have a Morgan Freeman, someone who knows how to get certain things. Jim Smith doesn't know how to get certain things. He knows how to get just about everything. If there's a piece of information you need, a person you need to see, here or in Washington, D.C., Jim's your guy. And Jim has been our guy at the Massachusetts Broadcasters Association for nearly 25 years, helping to open doors, some of which would be hard to open, so that we can tell our story. Jim is a founding partner at Smith, Costello & Crawford, and well, we like to believe that the MBA is his favorite client. Jim, true story? There you go, also. Jim's work spans across a myriad of sectors, including energy, biotech, and gaming, just to name a few. Prior to his work with us, Jim served 4 terms on Beacon Hill representing the people in Lynn. The common denominator to all of his work has been a career of service to the Commonwealth, and certainly to the broadcast community. And for that, we'd like to invite Jim up and recognize him as our first MBA broadcast champion.
Well, to say that this is a total surprise is an understatement. But representing you all, the broadcasters, has been one of the real privileges I have. This is a real shock, Kyle, frankly, as I have nothing prepared. I can usually do 20 or 30 minutes on on almost any issue. But thank you so much. It is not difficult when you're on the right side. And broadcasters and localism and honest journalism, which is so desperately needed. You all do, you all represent, and it's a privilege for me to represent you. And Kyle and Jordan and you all, thank you so much for this very unexpected moment. But thank you.
Now, in just a matter of moments, we're going to do something kind of nice. We're going to allow you to talk and eat and chew and digest for a few minutes. So we'll take a little break. But before we do that, we have a little message from our friends at AccuWeather. Let's get the latest forecast, shall we?
It all started around 3:15 with a 911 call here at the Coffee Creek Apartments.
Then, in December of 2014, he hyperextends his right knee. It was the left knee. In 2000.
Secretary of State race, all the Democrats and also all the Republicans running for Secretary of State. We'll also.
Hunter Hoagland with our new technology.
New technology, as we promised those results here in real time. We have volunteers.
And the temperature is 48 degrees. I just thought I had to add that. Thank you. We'll be back shortly with the MBA's annual meeting and a very special tribute to the broadcasters lost but never forgotten. So enjoy your meal, ladies and gentlemen. Dear friends, we're going to move on with the program now, just so everyone can be on their schedule and we can get the morning people home on time. And for this particular portion of our program, I think it's important for you to just quiet down a little bit. Thousands of broadcasters have graced the airwaves, sold radio and TV spots, kept stations on the air as engineers, and have contributed in countless other ways to the industry we all love. And sadly, This is life. We lose broadcasters as we lose friends and relatives every year. So please give your attention to our screen as we pause to remember these tremendous people.
For too long, Massachusetts politicians have resorted to demagoguery, trickery, and deceit. Why shouldn't I have a turn? Now, I admit that I'm not an experienced politician. For example, I'm standing here today with my hand in my own pocket.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to opening day at Fenway Park, America's most beloved ballpark. The long snowbound winter casts a dark pall, till one day an umpire hollers play ball. Then skies start to brighten, blue displaces gray. Baseball springs eternal, it's opening day.
Bill Shields was a cherished member of the WBZ team and an irreplaceable friend. In 41 years of reporting, he covered a lot of ground.
In Linfield, in Framingham, Peabody, Foxborough, reporting from Chatham at Fenway Park at Copley Square, in Middleborough, in Marshfield, I'm Bill Shields.
He took us to the mountaintops.
Mid-February, the highest peak in the Northeast.
And to the bottom of the sea. A classic Bill Shields story had people you remember.
To raise money for leukemia research, what cured him, hashtag bump out cancer. Do it. Boom.
When the weather was at its worst, Bill was always the best.
You're going to see the force. Jesus.
To know him is to know his stories off camera were just as great. Bill, Billy, Shieldsy, whatever you called him, it was always easy to call him a friend. He was a trusted reporter, a valued member of the community, and part of our family.
To say Bill will be missed is like saying Bill was a great reporter. It's an understatement. Bill loved Boston, and Boston loved Bill. Rest in peace, Bill Shields, a true WBZ legend.
In loving memory of Dick McDonough, known as the Prince during his 50-year career in radio, with major tenures at WDRC in Hartford.
Fifth dimension and let the sunshine in while the raindrops are outside and you come in and keep me warm, Aquarius. It's medley at 2 at 7:20 right now on Big D's Dick McDonough Show. Let us go now to number 2, and I will take, this is an easy one. Or a tough one. Could be a frustrating thing. If you're not the second one on the telephone at 278-8310 or 225-7747 to collect Tommy Rowe and
WMAS in Springfield.
94.7 WMAS, good morning. It's the best songs of the 80s, 90s, and today, 2004. You betcha. Some of the worst things to say during intimate moments. On second thought, let's turn off the lights. Or how about this one? This is terrible. Did you know this ceiling needs painting? This is the worst, I think. Could you pass the remote?
Dick was no ordinary disc jockey. He was smooth as silk, and anyone who listened to him knew he was a once-in-a-lifetime on-air personality. Dick McDonough found ways to talk to people, making his audience feel like they were part of his show. His unmistakable voice and delivery were legendary. Everyone who worked with the Prince can tell you when he called you buddy, you felt like you knew him forever. People from all walks of life still cherish the memories of growing up while listening to him. He wasn't just a DJ, he was a beloved friend to us all. Let's remember the moments, the music, and the magic he brought to our lives. Dick McDonough, you will always be in our hearts. May you rest in peace, buddy.
Bob Bittner's interest in broadcasting began as a teenager in New Jersey, where he'd ride his bike to visit local radio stations. His career began in Rochester, New York, programming rock and middle-of-the-road formats. From there, it was off to Puerto Rico, where he fell in love with the Caribbean, though his radio path soon took him to Boston. He played disco at WBOS and WNTN, then programmed standards on WXKS. But it was in the early 1990s that he found his true home on the air. A winning bid at a bankruptcy auction landed him ownership of an AM daytimer in Cambridge, which became WJIB, playing music he called Easy as the Breeze. For 3 decades, Bob was a one-man operation, spinning from his collection of tens of thousands of albums on stations in Boston, Cape Cod, New Hampshire, and eventually from a home base on the coast of Maine. Instead of commercials, annual contributions from a loyal band of listeners supplied just enough funding to keep the Memories stations on the air.
Phil Drumheller, better known as Phil D., had a broadcasting career that will be difficult for anyone to match, spanning 70 years. Phil's first commercial radio job was in 1954 at WJKO in Springfield, where he hosted both morning and PM drive shows. Phil's career in the 60s and 70s kept him in Springfield, working for both WHYN and WMAS. He spent time as general manager for both of those stations at different times. He even had a stint as a TV host on WHYN TV, which is now WGGB, from 1962 to 1965, co-hosting a local dance party show. Phil realized his dream of owning and operating his own radio station in 2002, when he put WIZZ on the air in Greenfield. He hosted the morning show there until his retirement in 2022. Phil D., a true pioneer, not only in Massachusetts broadcasting, but in the broadcasting world as a whole.
Born in 1951, William J. Masick passed away April 18, 2023. Radio was a great passion of his life, but it was not his whole life. In between working for and owning several radio stations, Bill married his wife Maria, raised a family, became a grandfather, and a trusted friend. He found time to obtain real estate licenses, a law degree, and was a Haverhill city councilor for more than a quarter century in the city where he spent his life. After being raised in Haverhill, Bill went on to Northeast Broadcasting School and received a first-class license from the Radio Engineering Institute in Sarasota, Florida. Bill, who used the name Bill Maxwell on air, worked for several radio stations, including WNBP in Newburyport and WHOB in Nashua, New Hampshire, before going on to buy several radio stations of his own, including WINQ in Winchendon, WPKZ in Fitchburg, and 2 stations in northern Vermont. And even later found time to be on WHAV, using his real name.
Bill Masick here, and my guest for this hour is City Council President John Mitchison. John, thanks for coming on board for what will be the final show as the show goes into hiatus, at least until Labor Day.
Bill served on the board of directors of the Massachusetts Association of Broadcasters. Bill's fingerprints on radio, the city he loved, and those who knew and loved him will never be erased. To some, a mentor, a co-worker, a boss, but mostly a friend.
Born in 1936 in the borough of Brooklyn, Cy attended the City College of New York and the School of Radio and Television. He started his broadcast career in radio with stops at stations in Chicopee, Asheville, North Carolina, and Dover, Delaware, before spending 14 years at WSPR-AM in Springfield, where he was the news director and an award-winning reporter. But it was right here, on TV, where Cy Becker became a household name. He joined 22 News in 1979 as a general assignment reporter and as a local theater and movie critic. Cy's enduring legacy will always be his movie reviews.
Just imagine stealing a priceless painting and then under hypnosis, forgetting where you put it.
By his own count, Cy saw over 9,000 movies in his lifetime, some of them good and some of them bad, always judged by the Becker star system with his unforgettable signature close.
This is Cy Becker with another Look at the Movies.
Cy finally retired this past spring, finishing a career that won't soon be forgotten by his friends here at 22 News and his many fans in Western Massachusetts.
Special thanks to the radio stations and TV stations and industry friends who came together to create this beautiful tribute, and that includes Nesson, WBZ TV, WMAS, Tim Coco, Sharon Schwinnard, Ben Parker, Scott Feibush, Nick Danger, and WWLP. Thank you all for doing that. It's really meaningful, and we needed to see that. Very, very helpful. Very, very nice. Now, I get to be the guy who introduces my name, my namesake. The annual meeting has been taking place since the association's inception back in 1954. While the formal meeting itself is traditionally brief, we hope, this portion of our evening allows us for an opportunity to recap the year gone by and to get a sense of what's to come in the coming year. So please pay close attention or else you'll miss the whole thing. Please welcome MBA Executive Director, the man with a great first name, Jordan Walton.
We have a little doctor with Jordan and I up here. Good evening, everyone. It's great to see you all, even though I can't see any of you right now. Our second straight Sound Bites without being interrupted by a global pandemic. Yes, what a streak. I put myself later in the program so that everyone's got a couple of drinks in them. Maybe I'm just a smidge funnier. If I see everybody get up and head to the bar, I know it's not going that great. I looked at my remarks from last year. They were 5 pages long, 5. So I will not do that to you again. I can't believe anybody showed up again, but I promise to keep it a little shorter. I know that Jimmy Dunn is waiting out there somewhere, and he's far, far funnier than I am. After more than 100 years of commercial radio and more than 75 years for broadcast television, both media continue to serve our local communities with news, weather, emergency information, music, sports, and entertainment. And while our advocacy work is often handled quietly and out of the public eye between Jim, myself, various MBA members, especially those from our board, the NAB, and members of Congress, it remains the most critical component of our work at the MBA. Though we certainly face challenges like battles in the streaming space, both video and music content, cord cutting, big tech platforms like Meta, Google, and Twitter sharing your hard work without any meaningful path to compensation, and artificial intelligence that seeks to erode the public's trust in media or threatens to replace jobs. Your presence here tonight is testament that we can continue to do great work and we can continue to lean on localism to stay relevant through the 21st century. There's little need to repeat what we've heard from both Senator Markey, NAB's Josh Pollack, and Kyle Grimes when it comes to the issues most critical to broadcasters, but I will add a little bit of local flavor. We've secured a number of co-sponsors for important broadcast legislation in the current Congress. Of course, Senator Markey led the way with the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. The House version of that bill has co-sponsorships from Representatives Jim McGovern, Jake Auchincloss, Stephen Lynch, Bill Keating, Ayanna Pressley, and Lori Trahan. In the ever-present fight to shoot down a performance tax for radio, the non-binding pro-radio Local Radio Freedom Act has co-sponsorships from Representatives Lynch, Keating, and Seth Moule. If you see these members in your station or out at community events, please thank them for their support. On Beacon Hill, the MBA is monitoring a handful of bills focused on digital advertising and taxation. It's no secret that many legislators acknowledge the massive power that big tech platforms hold and aim to curtail some of that power through taxing their immense advertising revenue. It's also no secret that many legislators don't fully understand the complexities of the digital advertising space and how most broadcasters use digital marketing to supplement over the air to stay in business. In 2024, we will be meeting with key members of the Massachusetts legislature overseeing taxation, and we'll be educating them on how broadcasters make the money needed to provide the local content that the big tech guys can't. While we don't believe any of these bills currently have momentum, we also believe that the concept is not going to go away and want to separate us from them. These meetings are part of a larger effort to better educate our state legislators about the broadcast industry. In other news, the MBA continues to invest in our membership and the future of our industry through a number of long-standing programs. This year, the MBA awarded $50,000 in scholarships between our Student Broadcaster Scholarship, which supports future broadcasters, and our Families in Broadcasting Scholarship, which supports current broadcasters by helping their children through college. Additionally, we invested nearly $30,000 in our paid internship program, which awards member stations with interns in their areas of need, as well as 2 engineering-specific internships. Monthly webinars from local broadcast sales and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters' third Thursday webinar series provide timely training on sales and a variety of other broadcast subjects without taking up too much of your time. And if our offerings aren't exactly what you're looking for, the MBA will pay you for your own continuing education with up to $500 through our continuing education reimbursement program. Information about each of these programs is available on massbroadcasters.org, as well as through our social media and email list. So please don't hesitate to contact me if you've not seen that information. Lastly, an update on something we talked about last year, which is our high school radio project, a streaming radio station now in its second semester and with its second school in Westfield Technical Academy. Since this time last year, the high school radio project has launched 5 stations in high schools in Massachusetts, Nebraska, and Michigan, with a 6th on the air in Louisiana in short order. The goal of this program is to introduce radio via hands-on experience with real-world applications like Music Master, Playout One, and Benstown branding before students get to college and select their majors. These students will have experience with programs used in hundreds of stations around the country and can add those skills to their resumes and college applications. Some may be board hopping for you in the very near future. You can learn more about the HSRP, including streaming each of our stations, by going to highschoolradioproject.org, or if I'm channeling Matt Shearer, ask Alexa to play High School Radio Project, Massachusetts. Thank you. Now, all of the advocacy and each of the member programs we provide each year are largely thanks to our public education program partners. Thank you to the Massachusetts Army National Guard, who's been partners with the MBA for 30 years in recruiting new recruits, I suppose. The Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, the Department of Correction, no S, it's not corrections, I've been told, New England Donor Services, and Mass Farmers Markets for airing their public awareness messaging through the MBA this year. And of course, thank you to each and every station in this room for airing those messages. Sound Bites itself is possible in part to our event sponsors. Thanks to Vin and Brendan from Nielsen for sponsoring this year's Sound Bites name tags. Thank you to 2 new sponsors involved with Sound Bites and the High School Radio Project, Music Master and Benstown Branding. And thank you to AccuWeather and Keith Hopkins for being a new sponsor this year in 2023. I hope everyone had a chance to meet with Keith a little bit over in the promenade. Thanks again to Tim, Bert, Kayleen, Matt, and Paul Beck of Foxborough Cable Access for helping get this event together. And thank you to the MBA's Board of Directors, and especially our current chair, WCVB's Kyle Grimes. Kyle somehow has the time to balance a promotion within Hearst, managing WCVB, and making sure I don't goof off at the MBA. So thank you for that. Lastly, and this is page 404, by the way, I didn't go to 5. Thanks to Jordan Rich, most ably stepping in for Candy O'Terry this year, and thank you to our guests, Josh Pollack and Captain Lindsay. Thank you for joining us. And finally, thank you for all for taking the time out of your busy schedules, deer accidents on the highway and whatever else caused you to be slow in getting here. All right, I better shut up. So there's only one thing left, and that is the MBA's annual meeting. Don't blink. The date is November 16th, 2023, and the time is 7:25, and I call this meeting of the Massachusetts Broadcasters Association to order. The meeting is being held at the Sheraton Framingham Hotel and Conference Center in Framingham, Massachusetts. I am Jordan Walton, the Executive Director, and in that capacity, I will preside over this meeting. I certify that the notice of the meeting was sent in advance to all members at least 30 days prior to this meeting in accordance with our bylaws. I have a list of members in attendance and declare a quorum. The minutes of the 2022 annual meeting have been distributed and are before you. I will accept a motion at this time to approve the minutes of the 2022 annual meeting. I'll pretend I can see who said that. Do I hear a second? Thank you. I heard that from Mary. Mary's in the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, please say nay. And there's usually one. It is usual and customary that the Board of Directors request that the membership at its annual meeting pass the following resolution. Accordingly, do I hear a motion to adopt the resolution that all acts and transactions of the Board of Directors of the MBA, which have been taken or made since the last annual meeting of the members of the association, be and hereby are acknowledged, adopted, and ratified as the actions of the association. Do I hear a motion to adopt that resolution? Thank you. Second. Ed's in the minutes. I love it. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, if you're in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Oh, nobody. Unanimous. Wonderful. Lastly, on your tables, you will find copies of the proposed 2023-2024 Board of Directors. This slate of directors was approved to present to the membership at our last board meeting. The following directors were nominated for the upcoming year. Chair, Kyle Grimes. Vice Chair Radio, Craig Swim. Vice Chair of Television, Chris Wayland. Treasurer, Merrill Lefferman. Secretary, Cheryl Tripp Cleveland. Directors, Ed Perry, Tom McAuliffe, Bob Goodell, Mark Hannon, Howard Simpson, and Todd Brown. Our immediate past chair, Mary Mena, and our associate director, Peter Brown. Do I hear a motion to elect said board members? I won't get off the stage if we don't have one. Thank you. Do I hear a second? Thank you. I heard in that direction. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, please say nay. You guys are good. Notice of the next annual meeting of the association will be sent to the membership in a timely manner. I will now accept a motion to adjourn. You guys are really catching on. Second. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, guys.
Running a meeting in a quarter-hour sweep, that was very impressive, Jordan. Well done. Well, we've done a lot of serious things tonight. We have the awards coming up, which will be a lot of fun and a lot of excitement. But we're going to lighten things up a bit. You might have seen our very special guest on shows like Letterman or Conan or the CBS show The McCarthys. Right now, he can be seen on the new return of Frasier. I believe his character's name is Moose. That is correct. So let's not wait any further. Let's bring on a very funny guy, Jimmy Dunn.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This one for me, yeah? Thank you, everybody. How are you? Thanks for having me here. That is correct. I am currently on the TV show Frasier, which is super, super cool. But the big story is that tonight I am performing in the North Grand Ballroom at the Sheraton Mass Pike. So, dreams do come true. How are you? All right? You good? I got a lot of friends in this room. It's good to see a lot of you. There are also like 3 or 4 people in this room that have actually fired me at some point. So, good to see them also. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. You getting excited for Thanksgiving? You don't want to get involved in this at all, do you? You're just looking at me going, you die with your own shit, pal. Don't bring us into this. We're still digesting. All right, fine. That's the way it's going to be. I'm okay with that. I love Thanksgiving. It's my favorite holiday. It's where we get together with our families and we give thanks to the fact that we don't have to live with these stupid people anymore. Right? I got a stupid family, man. I got a drunk uncle. How many of you have that drunk uncle? How many of you are that drunk uncle? A lot more hands right there. All right. Yeah. My uncle got so drunk last year that during Thanksgiving, during the meal, right at the table, passes out cold. And my aunt, they work as a team. My aunt tries to cover for him. She goes, you know, there's chemicals in the turkey that can make you a little drowsy. And I'm like, yeah, they're in the Jack Daniels too. So we're in for a long day with Uncle Ritty. Uncle Ritty gets down, starts watching football. You ever watch football game with a guy who's so drunk that when he sees the instant replay, he thinks that the team scored again? They show the same play like 5 times, and he's looking at it going, look at this. It's a friggin' blowout, man. I know I should have bet the over on this one. I like to bet on football, by the way. You bet on football? I like to bet on football. I like to bet on basketball. I like to bet on WNBA. I will put some action on a pickleball tournament if I can dial it up. By the way, if you're playing pickleball, shut up about it, all right? Nobody cares. You pickleball people are insufferable. We get it. You got fat. You can't play tennis anymore. You found something that's kind of a sport. Enough. We don't want to join the pickleball cult. I will bet on it, though, if I can get a line. I'll bet on anything, man. This is absolutely true. I started gambling legit with a bookie when I was 8 years old. I am not making that up. My Uncle Sully was a bookie when I was a kid. That's the most Boston sentence you're going to hear tonight, by the way. He ran his book out of a sandwich shop in Beverly, Massachusetts. Yeah, and I remember I was a little kid. I was sitting there at the counter one day eating a sandwich, and some guy ordered a cheesesteak, and he gave Uncle Sully $604. I went, hey, Uncle Sully, I think that guy overpaid you. And he goes, no, we're gambling, kid. That's what men do. We bet on the football games. And I idolized my Uncle Sully. You know, I was like, oh, Uncle Sully, can I bet on football like men? He goes, I don't know. How old are you, 7? I go, 8. And he goes, you got any birthday money? And that was it. I was a gambler. And I'm telling you, I went in there every week like a big shot. He let me bet $5 a week. And I'd go in like some big shot going, hey, Uncle Sully, let me get a nickel on the Pats. I'm 8 years old. And this is back when they really sucked. I lost every single week. And he'd take my money. He'd teach me my lesson. You know, he'd give me sandwiches and chips and hot dogs and root beers, you know, but he was just the best. But now I'll bet on anything. But now I don't have to leave my living room, right? Anybody else getting into that? Sitting on the couch, getting some action? Fantastic, right? Here's the problem, though. When you lose, you don't go pay Uncle Sully. You don't go see a guy, right? No, you got to pay right there on your computer, which is connected to my checking account, which is connected to my wife. That's where I really got in trouble. At the beginning of football season, she saw a charge for $1,200 to DraftKings. Yeah, and I had to explain to her, you know, that DraftKings is the company that sprays the foam insulation up in our attic. And they said they didn't think they got it all. They might have to come back around playoffs. Around winter. And they said I got to put in some sort of ventilation system called a fan duel. I don't even know what that is, but that'll probably be on next month's credit card, so. I got a beautiful wife, a wonderful wife. I got 2 really smart kids on paper. Grown-up kids with the diplomas framed up, yeah, to tell you that they're smart. But I'm telling you, put them in a real world, couple of idiots. No, I got stupid kids. I do. This is a conversation between my 2 adult grown-up kids. Bro. That's an entire conversation. That's $240,000 in tuition to the University of New Hampshire. The little guy's got a communications degree. Bro. Killing it, bro. I come into this conversation the other day, in my living room, by the way, where they don't live, but they're there all the time. Anybody got those kids that you thought were gone and now they're back? Because they're hungry? Yeah, I got to hide my food from my grown-up children. Anybody else doing that? Didn't see that coming, did you? When you brought your kids home from the hospital, you didn't think about that. You brought that kid home and you went, oh, my life is over. Everything's going to be about this kid, right? You didn't think 22 years later you'd be looking at that same kid going, where the hell are my Chips Ahoy's, you little lying bastard? I see the crumbs on the side of your mouth. I know you took them. I hide my Chips Ahoy's, too. They're in the freezer underneath the Elio's pizza. No, perfect hiding spot, right? Because nobody's touching that Elio's pizza. Let's be honest. Come on, let's be honest. That shit pizza. I know it. You know it. The people at Elio's know it. They do. They know what they're putting out. They put a sign right on the side of the box that says freezer friendly for up to 3 months. Even they're telling you, if you get drunk in the next 3 months, this is kind of like pizza. Right? And that's a weird phrase, isn't it? Freezer friendly? Like, what happens after 3 months? Does it turn into a dick? Is it in the freezer going... Just looking around going, hey, peas, hey, frozen peas, look at me. You know you're not even real food, right? You know that. They're just saving you in case someone turns an ankle. Did you know that, peas, huh? You better hope it's an ankle and not the big guy's vasectomy there, peas, huh? Pucker up, peas. And the peas going, what happened to the pizza? It used to be so friendly 3 months ago. No, that one was too conceptual for you? All right, that's okay. I got dick jokes, too. We're good either way. This is a conversation between my 2 kids the other day in the living room. The big guy looks at the little guy. He goes, bro. My crypto, bro. Killing it. The little guy looks at the big guy, and he goes, bro, my crypto going to the moon. I go, what are you 2 idiots talking about? Little guy looks right at me and goes, Dad, It's crypto. You wouldn't understand. I don't know. Maybe not. I'll tell you this, buddy. The first job I ever had when I was a kid was in an arcade on Hampton Beach where you needed 20,000 skee ball tickets to get a plastic harmonica shaped like a lobster claw. So I do know a little something about make-believe currency. Bro. Morons, absolute morons. My wife is very beautiful. I'm so lucky there. I'm playing way out of my league there. Very sexy, my wife. Yeah. Very chatty in the bedroom. Got real quiet in here, didn't it? Look at that. It's not what you're thinking. I'm saying like not before, not during. Yeah, after. She wants to talk about it. And I'll be honest with you, at that point, I'm done. I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to be there anymore if we're being 100% honest. I am like Coach Belichick at a press conference at that point. I just there because I got to be. You know what I mean? She's going, wasn't it great? Was it wonderful? Did you enjoy it? And I'm going, I'm happy to get out of here with a win. We had a good week of practice. We'll look at the tape and we're on to my birthday. All right. You guys do know I'm standing right here, right? You do? All right, okay. You enjoy it any way you want. It's getting expensive out there. The economy's out of whack. Let me give you a quick economics lesson. Here's where the economy went down. And it's not a war, and it's got nothing to do with politics. Let me ask you this. How many of you folks have one of those Yeti coolers? Yeah, you're the problem. You did it. When you decided that $500 was a reasonable price to put a chill on 4 White Claws, that's when the entire consumer price index went out of whack. I go the exact opposite way. I go to the Dollar General for my cooler. I get that styrofoam cooler for $1 and another $1 for the lid, right? Yeah. That's the best cooler at the party because at some point someone's going to get tired. They sit on the Yeti, not so entertaining. They sit on my cooler. You can't buy that entertainment for $2. You know what I mean? I was in that mountain store. That's where I saw the $500 cooler. You ever go in a mountain store where the hikers and the climbers buy their stuff? I had to get a new jacket. My wife, about 3 weeks ago, I went looking for my jacket. And I go, where's my jacket? She goes, oh, it was getting all ratty and smelly, so I threw it out. I went, you can do that? She goes, yeah. I go, all right, I'm going to throw your mother out then. I don't know if you got a whiff of Hilda in the hallway lately. My mother-in-law, I got a weird smell. It's like bad eggs and Chanel #1. No, that's a great joke. That's a great joke. I don't care if you laughed at all. I got to get a new jacket. She goes, just go. This is what she actually said. She goes, maybe in the 23 and a half hours a day you're not working, you could find the time to go get a jacket. I go, all right, that's fair. So I go to the mountain store place where the hikers and the climbers buy their stuff, you know. And I see this beautiful jacket, and I go, oh, there's my winter jacket, right? And I look at the price tag, $625. I go, that ain't happening. And this kid who works there, he jumps in front of me. He goes, sir, that's a Gore-Tex jacket. That's why it's so expensive. And I go, all right, buddy, I don't know that I need Gore-Tex. He goes, oh, I would disagree. I go, you would you? He goes, oh, you could climb to the top of a mountain in a hailstorm if you were wearing this jacket. You wouldn't feel any moisture at all. And I go, oh, that's nice. Let me ask you this. How does this jacket handle gravy? Because in my world, that's a much more likely scenario. You see what I'm saying? Look at me. I'm not hiking Mount Washington in a hailstorm. I'm driving up Route 1 with a chicken pot pie in my lap. Right? Long story short, I now own a gravy-resistant Gore-Tex Eaton jacket. My kid's got a dog, and every now and then they'll drop the dog off, and I get the dog sit, which is the perfect way to have a dog. Couple of hours, couple of days, whatever it is, you know. And I love watching the dog, but I get insulted by his girlfriend who gives me a laminated instruction sheet on how to watch a dog. As if to say, we've seen how you take care of yourself. We're not sure you can keep an eye on this guy for 4 hours. She goes, no table scraps, Jimmy. I go, well, don't worry about it. She goes, I don't want the dog eating what you eat. Yeah, how insulting is that? I go, what are you talking? She goes, the last vegetable you had was a clover in the Lucky Charms. And that's not fair. She gives me the dog food. It's Blue Buffalo. You familiar with this product? All natural, gourmet, no preservative, no GMO dog food. She goes, only 1 scoop of the Blue Buffalo in the morning, 1 scoop at night, nothing else. As I'm getting this lecture, I look over at the dog. He's licking himself like a snow cone on the 4th of July. And I go, I don't think he's got that discerning palate you seem to think he has. Dog's got CBD cookies. Yeah. She gave me this little bag. She goes, these are CBD cookies for the dog. He can have 1, but only if you feel like he's experiencing some sort of stressful situation. Stress, I go, what, like what? He's got to do his taxes? He's a dog. They're down the road an hour. The dog's had 4 CBD cookies. I've had 6. And we're cooking up some Elio's pizza. That's how I watch that dog. I live out in the suburbs. Now I got a nitwit neighbor where I live. You got the nitwit neighbor next door? That's a universal thing. If you don't, I got news for you. It's just math. I got bee people living next door. You familiar with the bee people? Anybody get the bee people? Yeah, the people with the bees in the back. I don't mean a couple of bees flying around. I mean they got the hives like this big, full of bees. My neighbor's got 5 hives, 50,000 bees in a hive. I'm living 1 fence away from 250,000 bees. And I don't know what you know about bees, but they don't respect the fence at all. That is an arbitrary line they go right over. If we're being honest, the only thing the fence does is give you 1 less direction to run when you get attacked by 250,000 bees. And I don't understand why you have bees. Like, I get that they're part of the environment and need them for nature and whatnot. I just don't know why this guy's housing 250,000 of them next door. So I asked him, I go, what's the deal with the bees there, Chief? And this is what he says to me. He looks me right in the eyes and he goes, well, I'll tell you this, Jimmy. We're saving all kinds of money on honey. And I went, did you just say you're saving money on honey? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Just the other night I was sitting down at the kitchen table, going through the bills and writing out the checks and screaming at my wife saying, we're spending too much money on honey in this house. That's $6 you spend every 4 years on a plastic bear full of honey. It's killing us. We got to get some bees and get off the big honey grid. No more money to big honey. Honey. Yeah, we just bought a new house. We had a big, beautiful home, all paid off and everything. Yeah, and then the kids moved away theoretically, and she goes, let's sell the house, and then let's go buy a house down on the beach. And I go, I don't know, babe, that's really expensive down there, you know. She goes, yeah, I know, but I was thinking about this. We could buy an old crappy house and we could fix it up. And I go, well, I don't know if we could do that. And she goes, well, I've been watching a lot of the HGTV, and I think I can pull it off. That's what she said to me, with all sincerity, you know. And I went, I dig the optimism. I've been watching the Bruins since I was 7. I can't skate backwards, but you want to try it? Let's do it. So we did. We bought this old beat-up house, and we fixed it up, and it was a challenge. At one point, she said to me, she goes, I want you to put a fireplace in the bedroom. You want me? Put a fireplace in the bed. Does any of this say stonemason or third little pig? No, this says Yogi Bear. I know who I am. She goes, no, an electric fireplace. Oh, okay. So I get one of those, and I put one in. Anybody got one of those in the bedroom? They're nice, right? It's very romantic. It's very cozy. Here's the deal, though. It's a dry heat. It's a dry heat. So we had to put a humidifier in the bedroom. Anybody got one of those things? It's just this box that just spits out mist and fog all night. It's like you passed out at a Van Halen concert in '87. And it's an old house. You know, we got drafty windows, cold air coming in on all corners, ceiling fan up above the bed, mixing everything up. I don't know if we got any meteorologists in the room, but there's a potential for a nor'easter to come ripping through my bedroom at any given moment, which is why I sleep in Gore-Tex most nights. So she tricked me with this question, too. She goes, I want you to paint the house. What color do you want to paint the house? I go, I don't want to paint the house. She goes, what color? And I go, I don't care. She goes, how do you not care? How many of you really care what color your house is? Do you? I go, here's why I don't care. I live in New England. 11 and a half months a year I'm in that house. 3 weeks I get to go out. I get chased back in by the bees. I don't care what color the house is. She goes, I was thinking we should paint it gray. And I go, fantastic. Why am I even in this conversation, right? You know why, right? She takes out that wheel of color. Yeah. She goes, help me pick one out. And as I told you, I don't care. So I just like de-brown it. I point, no look one, you know, that one. She goes, you're not even trying. I go, no, I'm not trying. What is this, a game show? I don't care. She goes, well, I go, any of these? She goes, that's purpley gray. Now, and she goes, focus. And I go, oh my God. And I go, what about these? She goes, those are beigey gray. Now, in my little brain, I figure out what's going on. I pick one dead center right in the middle, right? Plymouth Rock. That's what we went with. I go, what about Plymouth Rock? And I swear to you, she said this to me. She goes, I actually really like that one, but I am concerned it may be a little too gray of a gray. And the end of that story is I'm the only guy who went through 50 Shades of Gray without even dropping his pants. Yeah. I painted the damn house gray. Then I'm done, right? No, got to paint the door a different color. Did you know that? When did that start? People having a hard time finding your front door, just walking to the side of your house going, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. I paint the door a different color. I paint it red, right? Then she goes, you got to paint the number on the door. I go, we don't need the number on the door. I'm done. She goes, we need the number on the door. I go, the number's on the curb. The number's on the mailbox. She goes, oh, yeah? What if the fire department needs to find a smart guy? I go, I don't know. Generally, those guys are looking for the house that's on fire. You see 4 guys on the back of a fire truck going, I don't know if that's the right house. I can't read the number on the door because of all the flames and the smoke and whatnot. Ask this screaming guy coming out what number he used to live at. Watch out for the bees for some reason. Hey, you guys have been fantastic. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Happy Thanksgiving. And watch Frasier, please. I'm begging you. It's really, really, really good. Good night, everybody.
Now that is one funny guy. Nice hand for Jimmy Dunn. All right, dear friends, the time has come for the awards, the 2023 Sound Bites Awards. And I got a few rules and regs to read to you, and then we're going to get right to it. So here we go. All entries were judged by fellow broadcasters from the Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters. We're grateful to them and the time they donated to view and listen to the entries. It should be noted that the MBA also judged another state's awards contest every year, so it's very fair. Volunteering your time, those of you in the MBA who did this, is very much appreciated. Now, we'll be awarding a merit and a first place award in all categories. For our first place winners, we'll also be playing a small clip of the winning entry, so please hold your applause until we're done playing the clip. A couple of other notes, get ready. If your station is called for a merit or a first place award, just make your way up to the table to my right, and you can pick up your award from Jordan, the other one, and have your picture taken by our photographer, the wonderful Terrence Adderley, who's right over there, who also did a great job at the Hall of Fame induction back then. Terrence is the man. Now, all pictures from tonight will be available on massbroadcasters.org, as well as the Facebook page and through Terrence's website, tadderley.com. That will happen by next week, I'm told. And Terrence can also print a picture here tonight so you can go home with a souvenir. Terrence, you are the man. Thank you. If you're posting on social this evening, please remember to use the hashtag SoundBites2023. Now, some of the entries will include the names of the people who put the entry together. I'll announce those names, and I'll try to do them justice. If I do butcher a name, I apologize in advance. But if you want to have your work considered in 2024, be on the lookout for the MBA call for entries on or around July 1st. The MBA's Soundbite Awards are like the lottery. Everybody wants in, but you got to play to win, which is reminiscent of what Jimmy was talking about. So here we go. You guys all set? All right. In the category of individual commercial radio, the Merit Award goes to 94.7 WMAS for Phil Below and Sons Home Improvement. Chris Duggan, Account Executive. Congratulations, Chris. Come on up here and get your photo taken and get your award. And in first place, the Individual Commercial Radio Award goes to 93.9 The River for the Great Gresh Sound Now at Downtown Sounds. Jason Carpenter, VO, Joe O'Rourke, the writer, and Stephen Ward Wheaton, producer. Congratulations. And
in 1963, George Harrison acquired a 1962 Gretsch Country Gentleman, the guitar he played on The Ed Sullivan Show. It wasn't his first Gretsch, though. Back in the days of the Cavern Club, George played a Gretsch Duo Jet. In 1965, a Gretsch Tennessean won George's heart. John loved jangling his Rickenbackers, but the Beatles' guitar ace was a true blue Gretsch man. Dwayne Eddy and Eddie Cochran played Gretsch guitars. Maybe that's why Brian Setzer built the Stray Cat sound on a Gretsch. Gretsch guitars. Not for everyone, but for some, the benchmark for electric guitar tone. Now you can get a Gretsch at Downtown Sounds. You've got to come by, plug in, and see what that great Gretsch sound is all about.
Well, there you go. Nicely done. Did our folks come up and accept their award? We are good to go. The next category is the Commercial Campaign Radio category. And first, the Merit Award goes to Rock 102 and Laser 99.3 for Rocky's Ace Hardware. Pat Kelly did the voiceover, Joe O'Rourke, the account executive and copywriter. Congratulations, guys. Just come on up here. And in first place, Odyssey Boston, Find Mass Money. Let's roll that if we can.
We've seen a lot this pumpkin spice season. Pumpkin spice hummus, motor oil, pumpkin spice deodorant, so you can walk around smelling like a gift shop on the Cape all day. FindMassMoney.com would like to pumpkin spice up your bank account with money you may have you don't even know about. Check your name at FindMassMoney.com to see if you've got money coming to you from forgotten bank accounts, stock certificates, refund checks, utility companies, and more. FindMassMoney.com. It's fast, easy, it's free, but it doesn't come in pumpkin spice.
And we want to congratulate our good friend Joe Cortez, production director. Now, in the Commercial Campaign Television category, the Merit Award goes to Western Mass News. For Western Mass News, Surprise Squad, Cool Schools, credits go to the Western Mass News Creative Services Department. And in first place, for Commercial Campaign Television, WCVB-TV, South Shore Health here. Ben Filippo and Sean Finley, and let's roll a little of that for us.
I got the diagnosis. It was cancer. I chose South Shore Health.
I was ready for weight loss surgery. I chose South Shore Health.
I needed my hip replaced.
I needed my second hip replaced.
I chose South Shore Health.
South Shore Health was here for me.
Here for me.
For me.
For me.
Congratulations, WCVB-TV. Our next category in our list of awards is station imaging. This is a radio-only category, station imaging. The Merit Award goes to Big 103, Damon Oakes, Creative Services Director. And in first place, we're very happy to announce 93.7 WEEI, Ken Laird, the brand manager.
The Red Sox station.
Red Sox win it!
WEEI.
Can you believe it? Wave it!
New England Sports Original. The exclusive home for Patriots Monday and Friday.
The colors are silver, blue, and red.
93.7 WEEI. Boston Sports Original. We are your exclusive home for Patriots Monday and Friday with Bill Belichick.
We all have to reestablish our level of performance in a new year.
Matt Jones.
Really listening to the message of the coaches and the leaders of our team.
The home for Pats fans. 93.7 WEEI.
Congratulations, EEI. Great radio station, as all of these winners are. We are rolling along with some great awards. In the category of Station Promotional Announcement, this is a radio category, the Merit Award goes to 94.7 WMAS for the 94-foot Christmas tree and Nights at the North Pole, Bridget Lynott and Drew Hastings. Congratulations, guys. Well done, well done. And in first place, this is again the station promotional announcement in radio, the award goes to Mix 104.1 for Taylor Swift ticket winners. Let's give this a listen.
Are you ready for it? What's it sound like to win the hardest tickets in the world to get for free? It's the Taylor Do-It Day.
Hi, this is Janae Barrett from Holliston. Oh my gosh, my daughters are gonna freak out. Anna and Allie, Mommy won you Taylor Swift tickets.
Robin, you're going to the show.
Oh, my day just got a heck of a lot better.
You got Taylor tickets.
Hi, this is Lorraine Cleary.
From Hanson, Mass. Holy smokes, you called back quick.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the Taylor Do-It Day. Just sign up now on Mix1041.com. The winning returns tomorrow morning at 9:05 on Mix 1041.
Congratulations to Damon Oakes, Creative Services Director. A man you want to get to know the next time Taylor Swift comes around with a concert series. Now we go to Let's Go to Television for Station Promotional Announcement. The Merit Award goes to, for Christmas Day NBA, here on Channel 5, WCVB. Christine Bell, Russ Nelligan. Producers, designers, editors, and writers. Congratulations, WCVB. And in first place, Boston 25, Zip Trip's 20th season promo. Let's give it a watch.
Fasten your seatbelt, let's go for a ride on a Zip Trip. A Zip Trip. Moving ear to the ground, we're exploring your town on a Zip Trip. A Zip Trip. It's hard to believe that it's been 20 years of traveling all over the States. So come say hello, let's go now, we can't wait.
Well done. Congratulations to Brittany Everett, Robert DiGregorio, Steve Matrano, and Karen Levy. Great team. Well done. And now it's time to recognize exceptional air talent. And in the category of air personality in radio, this is when it gets really exciting. The Merit Award goes to a guy who just walked up here a bit earlier. Joe Cortez, Magic 106.7. Back to the 80s Saturday night. Come on up here, Joe. Well done, sir. Well done. And in first place, a man who works at the same radio station I do, who was very, very popular, and who spoke out earlier in the night. Do you know what I'm talking about? Matt Shearer, WBZ.
This is a little free record shop. Take a record and leave a record.
The man is everywhere.
You might be wondering, who did this?
It's a me.
Why, hello.
I am a fully grown adult. Would like to buy some alcoholic beverages, if that's okay.
This guy has ruined more college parties than an acoustic guitar.
See this? This is how you get prepared.
I know what I need to do. Guy Fieri style. Welcome to Donuts, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Part of getting it on is trying not to flash everyone walking by, so don't forget to bring a towel.
You changed my day to hug everything.
You changed my day.
Smoothie too.
From a warm embrace, I'm Matt Shearer. For more hugs, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
You know, I'm a little partial to Matt because he's a colleague, but it does restore our faith that there are some great, talented people, very creative people coming up the ranks, and that's a good sign for all of us in this industry. So, well done, Matt. Now we get to air personalities in television. The Merit Award goes to 22 newsman Duncan McLean. Everybody runs on Duncan. Couldn't resist. Well done, Duncan. Congratulations. And in first place, WCVB's Antoinette Antonio.
Jen, Doug, this is going to be a sibling rivalry like you've never seen before. Will it be the South Street Diner or the North Street Grill? We've got North versus South, brother versus sister, Sharks versus Jets, if you will. We're going to talk to one of the chefs coming up after the break.
WCVB News Center 5.
All right, our resident party boy, Maddie Reed, out there for us in Medford this morning. Thank you. The snow creating a mess on many of our roads. There were a number of crashes on Route 9 in Newton last night. Worcester alone reporting at least 77. Drivers say the conditions on the roads were really treacherous. State police had to issue several restrictions on the Pike because of the storm. MassDOT says they had to deploy nearly 1,000 pieces of equipment to keep up with all of that snow.
There she is, Antoinette. Now we have another radio-only category. This is for the on-air contest category. And before we get to it, I'm so excited to say that there are so many great stations from all over the state represented, both TV and radio. This is terrific. This is one of my faves. WXLO. XLO and Rhoda Spring Farm team up with Lavender Haze Ice Cream to welcome Taylor Swift, to New England. So congratulations to Jen and Frank, the XLO Morning Show team. Don't know if they're here, are they? Perhaps not. And in first place, this is appropriate, Hot 96.9 for the $96,000 birthday payday. You get that much money in a contest?
Yeah, baby. Your shot at a $96,000 payday is back on Hot 96.9.
It's your birthday.
And all you need is a birthday.
And I'm pretty sure everyone's got one of those.
It's Hot 96.9's $96,000 birthday payday. It's back, baby, and winning is a piece of cake.
Just match your special day with our winning birthday.
And boom, you're 96 grand richer.
That's a contest I think we can all enter and have fun with. Congratulations to Cadillac Jack, Program Director Scott Morello, and Athanasia Orphanos. Love saying that. Next up, Sports Feature Radio. The Merit Award for Sports Feature Radio for Yukon rolling to the second round is WAMQ Northeast Public Radio. And that would be Ian Pickus, the news director at WAMC. And in first place, no surprise, because this is a radio station that often qualifies and often wins because they're just so darn great. WATD 95.9, interview with Johnny Busick on Boston Bruins history. Lenny Rowe, reporter.
The Plymouth High School's marching band, along with dozens of floats, made for quite the show, but it was a 1972 Buick Grand Sport convertible driven by Plymouth County Sheriff Joe McDonald that drew a lot of attention. Riding shotgun was Parade Marshal John Busick, the former Bruins captain and all-time leader in franchise goals. He won 2 Stanley Cups with Boston and is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. He spoke with WATD about some of his favorite hockey memories.
Well, hockey's been my life. It's basically the only job I've had. I just finished 65 years with the Bruins organization, and I think that's a record itself. I don't know of anybody else that's worked 65 years at one place, one job. So I'm honored for that, too, and I'm honored with the Bruins for carrying me for so long.
The Chief, Johnny Busick, and the winner, Lenny Rowe. Well done, Lenny. And now we go to a category called Sports Feature in Television. The merit goes to, once again, Western Mass News for a piece on the female lacrosse player, Hugh Zeitlin, news director. Excellent. And in first place, for a feature called Kevin Stevens Gives Back, WCVB.
Let's see what happens out here when I step on the ice.
Former NHL star Kevin Stevens laces up.
Good old Hallmark. Haven't been out here in...
How many years?
I haven't been here? 30 years on the ice, maybe?
Wow.
It feels like it, too.
On the ice at Hobbamock Arena in Pembroke, where he played as a kid.
High school hockey was everything then. But I remember getting up at 4 in the morning and skating here and playing hockey here. So it kind of looks the same. The only thing that's different, it was chain link fence. It was a lot colder.
From ice-cold Hobbamock, then to Boston College, to a power forward with the Pittsburgh Penguins in the early 90s, Stevens had it all. 2 Stanley Cups, and on the way to a third in 1993 when this catastrophic injury took him down in the playoffs.
So Stevens will be taken off the ice.
Brain injury, facial reconstruction. Stevens returned to hockey, but it was never the same.
Congratulations to WCVB. Now in the category of sports play-by-play on the radio, our merit award goes to WMEX 1510 AM for Division II boys hockey, Benjamin Rabinovitz. Congratulations, Ben. He's the play-by-play, and Brendan Connolly is the color man. And in first place, again, this is play-by-play radio. In first place, 98.5, the Sports Hub for the Bruins versus Toronto, January 14, 2023. Judd Surratt and Bob Beers.
35 remaining here in regulation, 3 apiece.
Broadcasting.
Up the left side, Tavares. His pass to the middle, easily turned over. Far circle, it's Hall. Shoots just wide, going glove side. Right point, Carlo. Right of the net, Hall. Shoots, deflected to the far side. Grzelcyk fires, he scores! Matt Murray is complaining that he got interfered with, but Matt Grzelcyk, with a low, blistering drive, finds the back of the net. Bruins 4, Leafs 3.
2 real good shifts in a row by the Bruins. This is a bad turnover by Toronto, trying to make this pass up the middle of the ice. David Krejci's going to pick it off. The Bruins are going to go to work in the offensive end. That was Tavares who tried to make that pass to Nylander in the middle. Taylor Hall with a couple looks, just missed the net on the first one, then tried to send it a pass in front on the second one, but they keep this puck alive. Eventually, Matt Grzelcyk is going to pound this shot.
All right, an exciting score. Score! Lots of energy there, that's great. Now we go to the Spot News story for radio, the Spot News. The Merit Award goes to WMVY Radio, Vineyard Harbors, Venezuelan Migrants, Confusion Quelled by Humanity, From the Island, Laurel Reddington, Community Outreach Director. And in first place, for coverage of the Hingham Apple Store crash, 95.9 WATD, Lenny Rowe, Dan McCready, Christine James.
We're continuing to follow an ongoing situation involving a crash in Hingham at the Apple Store. We're going to go right now to our Lenny Rowe, who's on the scene there. Lenny, what's going on?
Well, I'm here at the Derby Street Shops in Hingham. It's the Apple Store. It looks like an SUV went through the front window of the Apple Store here at the Derby Street Shops. There are reports of injuries, and tech rescue teams from around Plymouth County are arriving on scene here, whether it's Hanson, Abington, Rockland, Norwell, and Scituate Police, Cohasset Police, Norwell Police are also on scene here. People are being stretchered out into South Shore Hospital ambulances. This was being termed as a mass casualty incident. There's a lot of ambulances, a lot of activity here on the scene, and it looks like the SUV is still inside of the Apple Store.
Just a point of interest, in the next couple of awards, there'll be a similar coverage of a similar story, which is really why we're all doing what we do, to bring news and information and hope and inspiration to people immediately. So, in the category of Spot News Story Television, for the Apple Store crash, the Merit Award goes to WCVB, Channel 5. Congratulations. And in first place, for the same coverage of the same story, the Hingham Apple Store crash, the winner is NBC 10 Boston.
All right, I want to get back to that breaking news we're following for you right now out of Hingham, where we understand a car has crashed into the Apple Store at the Derby Street Shops. It's an outdoor mall, a popular area with shoppers. It has restaurants and stores. Again, a vehicle has crashed into the Apple Store. Here's a live look right now from Sky Ranger, giving you a view of where this happened. You can actually see the Apple Store right there in the center of your screen, and a whole huge area cordoned off with that yellow police tape. Boston MedFlight confirming for us they do have a chopper headed to the scene. We're being told that some of the injured are being taken to South Shore Hospital. But again, the fact that Boston MedFlight is sending someone to the scene indicates there are some serious injuries here.
Great coverage, WCVB. I hope you're having as much fun as I am up here just reading these names and celebrating with you guys who are so wonderful at the work you do. Next up is a TV-only category. This one is investigative reporting. The Merit Award goes to 22 News for xylazine, the damaging effects of a flesh-eating drug. Alana Flood and Mike Houle. Congratulations. And in first place for a series called Trapped and Trafficked, NBC 10 Boston. Kathy Curran, investigative reporter. Let's watch.
They've had like prior exploitation or victims of sexual assault, maybe DCF runaway type, but is with like gang members in Boston. That's a high risk factor for the kid.
U.S. Deputy Marshal Sean Bianchi winds his way through the streets of Boston with case files by his side on a critical mission to find endangered children who are missing and in need of help.
She's been missing for several months.
It's all part of the U.S. Marshals Operation We Will Find You. The NBC 10 investigators embedded with the Marshals, who team up with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and state and local police to try to make sure these kids are found and safe.
She's got like blue hair, wearing a purple snow hat.
After months of being on the run, the search for this missing 15-year-old from Cambridge finally comes to an end when she's spotted waiting for a bus on Geneva Ave in Dorchester.
That's an example of broadcasting helping to find someone and change someone's life. Congratulations. Now we go to feature story in radio. The Merit Award for a feature called the 2023 Boston Marathon, Who Were You Running For?, goes to My FM 101.3. Ray Ogier, Operations Director. And in first place for feature story radio, Morning Magic explains the husband calling competition, Magic 106.7. And the morning team, Kendra, Sue Tab, and the one and only David O'Leary. Come on down, guys. Congratulations.
Morning Magic with David, Sue, and Kendra.
Daryl! Daryl, dinner's ready!
I can't even breathe. This is the greatest thing we could have ever found.
I can't even believe it's real.
David, Sue, and Kendra, we want to disavow any interest in this beyond the entertainment value, but there's a thing in Iowa over the weekend, the husband calling competition, where what's the real premise of this? You get up on stage and you shout the way you would summon your husband?
Yeah, from another room. Like, how would you yell to your husband if you were in the house and you were far away? How would you get his attention? And you can do it the day of. I think people can sign up right on the spot.
Who signs up for this?
They have 15 people, minimum 15 people every
wait till you
year.
hear about the prize money. What do you win?
$5 whopping and a blue ribbon.
You get a blue ribbon and $5.
Now I'm going to have to listen to what my wife calls me at home to get part of that contest going. Now, we continue, and I hope we're moving along at a good clip and people are excited about these features. We've got some great ones coming up. This is Feature Story Television. The Merit Award goes once again to Western Mass News. Amanda Callahan, Eric Rosario for Liver Donor Meetup. Congratulations. And in first place, for Spread the Love, 22 News, Alana Flood and Chris Jackson.
Turning now to some good news in the community. An inspiring couple from Holyoke building relationships and helping the city's homeless, one peanut butter and jelly sandwich at a time.
It's a simple gesture that has a big impact, giving out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to the homeless in Holyoke. Susan Picard and Richard Baer have been taking this on, one loaf of bread at a time, every day, for the past 4 years. It's an endeavor that starts in their kitchen with supplies purchased with their own money, and the results have been nourishing for everyone.
We share some of the joys and sorrows that our friends are experiencing out there.
Picard, who grew up in Holyoke, credits her parents for instilling the importance of giving back to the community. She adds that although some of the people they feed may have problems with addiction, they are not here to judge, but to help.
It's hard out there. It's hard, but they're good people.
And wow, is it refreshing to see a good news story like that. That's terrific. Now a TV-only category for meteorologists, okay? Meteorologists, there's so many great ones throughout the state. The Merit Award goes to a lovely gal, Cindy Fitzgibbon, WCVB-TV. And in first place from Boston 25, Kevin Lemanovitz.
This is a Boston 25 weather alert. On alert for the storm that's happening tonight. Wet weather, sleet, some places getting snow. Temperatures are in the 30s. Too mild for anything to be sticking as far as rain or sleet in southeastern Massachusetts for sure. But look what's happening on the northern tier of the state. In Leominster, Bria Douglas has been out there, and she's been showing us that the snow's been coming down. Just saw her tweet that out. Over here in Lawrence, about to snow, if not snowing yet, for Lisa Pappas. That's our other reporter we have covering that northern area. In southern New Hampshire, I have a report from Brookline now of a ½ inch of snow on the ground. So it's not a lot, but there is some snow starting to accumulate. Let's talk more about that weather. You mentioned it's hot today, and it has been. I had to tell you, now the sun's gone in behind a couple of clouds. There's no threat of rain out here. It's actually feeling nice. Look at the temperatures. It's cooled off to 83 in Worcester, and we're expecting it to be maybe a degree cooler at 6:45 at game time. Of course, when the sun pokes back out, it can go up a degree or two as well. So it'll be in that area, but that's after hitting 90 earlier today. Boston for the 21st time this summer.
Congratulations, Kevin. Staying with television now, we're going to now have the category of photographer. The Merit Award goes to Shira Stoll from NBC 10 Boston. Got a big fan base back there, Shira. Well done. And you're not alone, because the first place winner is also from NBC 10, Aaron Strader.
It's a gorgeous summer day on the Esplanade. Where's the milk? Ice. And the team from the YMCA is setting up for lunch.
85. I got 100 milks. A lot of kids come to Boston Public School and they depend on this lunch.
Today we're having a barbecue chicken pizza.
The roughly 200 meals. They're prepared just a couple of miles away in Dorchester at Fresh Food Generation. A catering company, restaurant food truck turned school lunch kitchen. It's a similar scene at the Daily Table.
This is the Pasta Primavera.
All to create fresh, free lunches for children. They're one of 9 area kitchens, all currently part of the local lunchbox program.
Look at that, how many kids are provided, I don't know, 1 or 2 of their meals at school. How does this happen in a country like this? Anyway, the more I talk about it like this, and I don't talk about it very often, the more this makes sense.
Once again, a celebration of good news. Back to radio. Back to radio in the category of Excellence in Sound. The Merit Award goes to WMEX 1510 AM for The Countdown Show with Jeff Lawrence. And in first place for something called The Singing Sheriff, 95.9 WATD.
We have a special segment from our own Christine James. And WATD recently had a chance to sit down with Norfolk County Sheriff Patrick McDermott to find out more about the office and the person behind the badge. WATD's Christine James reports.
When you think of the sounds associated with the local house of correction, certain ones might be expected. But then others might not be.
If you ever go across the sea to Ireland.
Norfolk County Sheriff Patrick McDermott says music has always been an integral part of his life, starting in his home with his parents who were both musical, especially his mother.
She had an ear for music. She could play any song on the piano in any chord, and she was amazing at that. And so my house was always filled through those formative years with music.
Well, that was a sheriff who's definitely on key and on tune. No question about that. The next category is a recurring segment. We'll start in radio. Recurring segment. The Merit Award goes to Laser 99.3 for something called Did You Know? Alex Byrne, Program Director. And in first place, Hot 96.9 for the second date update on the 10s. Ramiro, Melissa Leroy, and somebody named Pebbles.
Now back to the second date
Where have I heard
update
that
on the
name?
10s.
With Ramiro, Pebbles, Melissa, and Leroy.
Hot 96.9.
So we're on the phone with Tiffany, and if you missed it, Eddie is the guy that she's looking for, and I'm pretty sure that we know why he's not calling her. It's because last time they hung out, he was having dinner with her parents over the parents' house, and Tiffany's mother's dog bit him under the table.
Oh my God.
As close as you can get to a testicle without actually touching a testicle.
The day of the dinner was my first time I had met her family.
Yeah.
And I walk in, and who's my brother, but one of the guys that used to sell me drugs.
Who? Wait, say that again? Her what?
Her brother's sitting there, and I'm like, that's the dude that used to sell me drugs.
Well, that was a recurring segment, all right. A lot of balls in the air at that format, I'll tell you that. Sorry about that, couldn't resist. For the recurring segment for television, the Merit Award goes to WBZ-TV for WBZ's Eye on Earth, Jacob Wyckoff, meteorologist. And in first place for the recurring segment for television, once again, WCVB for Ben Has Your Back.
Kim Hodson knew when the lease to her Nissan Rogue was up this year, she'd buy the car, as it was worth more money than her $12,000 buyout price.
Buying out a lease, I had never done it before. I pulled my buyout price. I thought, you know what, how difficult can this be? What I thought was a seamless transaction was anything but that.
She drove to Kelly Nissan in Linfield and says she was handed this buyout worksheet with all sorts of added fees she'd never heard of.
Everyone needs to make a living, I get that, but I felt like I was being manipulated.
Now, after we started asking questions about Kim's buyout price, including that almost $600 safety check, Kelly Nissan decided to refund Kim for that fee. They also found she was double charged $375 in other fees, so she's getting almost $1,000 back.
And Ben does have your back. Congratulations, Ben. Now, the category of Best Digital Media in Radio. Best Digital Media in Radio. The Merit Award goes to My FM 101.3 for their annual Stuff a Bus, which is a little different on Thanksgiving for my taste, but Stuff a Bus. And in first place, a returning winner, happy to announce, WBZAM for news radio, something called TikTok. Haven't heard about that. Matt Shearer, reporter.
If you saw a sign that said yard meat, would you pull over for a bite?
We're eating yard meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Tyler White and Nick Parisi have their own yard meat drive-thru in Gloucester.
Sometimes, a bun or something will hit the ground.
Dirt is one of the oldest seasonings known to man. If you really look into the dirt, there's all types of different minerals in it.
Usually they keep it pretty clean, though. There's also this guy they call Kid Rock who kind of sits there and doesn't say much.
That's the Lanesville Kid Rock right there.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
3 people have flipped over in this chair.
And it's actually
Whoa!
And that's another. Yes!
How many burgers do you eat per day if you're, out here 7 days a week?
Anywhere from 3 to 5 burgers a day.
There is something about it that tastes more yardy.
He meets some very interesting people and tells a great story. For Best in Digital Media Television, the Merit Award goes to NBC 10 Boston for bilingual coverage of cows, community, and conversation starters. And in first place, another win for this one, WCVB, the 127th Boston Marathon.
There he is.
Some of his fellow runners, he is just about to cross the finish line. And
Zdeno Chara, everybody. Bruins great has finished the Boston Marathon. Bib number 3333. Incredible. Yes, you can. Raising money for the Hoyt Foundation. Of course, Dick and Rick Hoyt, as we just listen to this out here. Oh.
Well done. WCVB digital staff. Public service is the backbone of radio and television and certainly of this organization. And the PSA category recognizes that commitment that our stations make by providing valuable airtime both on TV and radio throughout the Commonwealth. So these are very important categories. For Best Public Service Announcement Radio, the Merit Award goes to My FM 101.3 for My FM's Hometown Hope. Tom McAuliffe, President. And in first place, the award goes to 94.7 WMAS for the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon. Congratulations.
94.7 WMAS is proud to host the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon for Bay State Children's Hospital. Make your donation now by calling the Leah Auto Group phone bank at 413-794-1111 or visit WMASkids.com. Thank you for supporting the kids with 94.7 WMAS at HD1, Enfield, Springfield, and Odyssey Station.
Madeline just turned 1 and she is growing fantastically. She is currently above the 50th percentile in all of her categories, which is substantial based on her being a growth-restricted baby. The care in the NICU was absolutely fantastic. I don't think I have the right words to describe my intense gratitude towards them.
Congratulations, WMAS. And now the Best Public Service Announcement Television. The Merit Award goes to 22 News for Toys for Tots. Anna Giza, Dave Kostecki, and Natasha Mercado Santana. And in first place for Jimmy Fund, I Am Jimmy 2023, WCVB. Ben Filippo and Barbara Comiskey.
You know who we are.
Ben Simoneau.
Cindy Fitzgibbon. Jessica Brown.
Doug Meehan.
And I am
Jimmy.
We are all Jimmy.
For 75 years, the Jimmy Fund has given hope to everyone touched by cancer, supporting research and care at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute.
Donate to the Jimmy Fund and say, I am Jimmy.
I am Jimmy.
I am Jimmy. I am Jimmy.
I am Jimmy. I am Jimmy. We're all Jimmy.
Text Jimmy to 20222 to donate.
Congratulations. So many great causes, so many wonderful projects ongoing throughout the year. Now, the prestigious We Are Broadcasters Award highlights a unique event or program produced and promoted by a station that highlights localism. And programs can be community-oriented, they can be charitable, they can be one-time occurrences or an annual event. So please help the MBA magnify your great work by utilizing We Are Broadcasters hashtag. You can do that throughout the year. We will play clips from both the merit and first place categories, in the We Are Broadcasters Award. So please hold your applause until the media sections play. In the category of We Are Broadcasters Radio, the Merit Award goes to Pixie 103, 21st Annual Homeless for the Holidays. Let's listen to the audio.
The 21st Annual Homeless for the Holidays is underway across Cape Cod. This year, we have 8 Homeless for the Holidays donation locations, including Bowler, Mashpee, Harwich, Yarmouth, Dennis, Brewster, and Eastham. Help us give Cape Cod families in need the holiday season everyone deserves.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Cape Cod's Rock Pixie 103. Maddie B live right now from Main Street in Buzzards Bay for the 21st Annual 103 Hours Homeless for the Holidays. Well, Mother Nature, not very accommodating this morning with the weather, but a little bit of rain isn't going to dampen our spirits. Ha!
Broadcasting live with Harwich Fire down here at Brooks Park, Route 39 and Oak Street. One of the most important things about Harwich Fire, and I love it, is they have engine 69. Now, this is the reverse color. They have a white engine with like red striping down it. It's wicked old school. I love it. When I say old school, I mean like 02 old school. Throwing it back. Come on down here and check out Engine 69 and donate a new unwrapped toy, a non-perishable food item.
All right. And in first place for We Are Broadcasters Radio, WMEX 1510 AM, local station owner helps end addiction and the stigma around it. Let's listen.
Courage to Hope with Tony LaGreca is a show supporting the fight for sobriety against substance abuse and changing the stigma that comes along with it. Tony's been helping families, friends, and loved ones discover recovery services as well as coping skills for over 6 years following the death of his own son to opioids. Join Tony and his guests each week as they reveal the courage to hope.
We have Elaine Pazicki and Angelo Valente, partnership with Drug Free.
Thank you very much. I didn't realize how powerful these drugs are, and neither he nor I were given any information on how addictive these drugs could be and how fast a dependency occurs, which we now know is 5 days. I truly believe that had my son or I have been told of this potential for dependency and addiction of the opiates he was prescribed, that he would be alive today.
Congratulations, Tony LaGreca and WMEX 1510 for doing a real public service. In the category of We Are Broadcasters Television, the Merit Award goes to, for One Boston Week, their feature, Boston 25.
Good morning. We appreciate you being with us. I'm Gene LaBanche.
I'm Elizabeth Hopkins. Today, Boston 25 is beginning our One Boston Week, where we are highlighting the spirit of giving back as we mark 10 years since the Boston Marathon bombing.
So our first initiative is organizing a beach cleanup. Our own Sherry Spear live this morning in Quincy on Wallace Beach.
We are moving all over the place. Hold on. We've got a couple familiar faces here. Emily, you got that? Is that she wanted there to be proof that she is here working today. Usually Emily's behind the scenes and calling the shots as one of our directors on the morning show. Now she's blushing a little bit. But we're all getting to work this morning. You can see the shovels are out. One of the reasons that we have to do this is to actually make sure that all the ramps stay accessible. I hear that shoveling the dirt over here, I think it helps with... Did I hear that it helps with the grass?
Yeah, to not grow over the sidewalk.
Wait, tell us.
It helps so that the vegetation doesn't overgrow the sidewalk.
I just really wanted to put you on TV. You know that, right?
Congratulations to Boston 25. And in the hashtag We Are Broadcasters Television, first place goes to, for their 50 years special, WCVB TV.
Good morning, world. 3 little words. History made, and a mission begins.
We were the pioneers of local television. You had a mindset of anything is possible.
For 5 decades, we have been there with you for every moment.
And always with one word, one focus at the center of it all, community.
Everybody wants to give, everybody gets involved. It is an all hands on deck effort. From news to Chronicle to City Line.
People just feel it, they sense it, and I still do when I tune in. I feel like it's still home for me.
I'm an emotional man, especially when it comes to Channel 5 and the fabulous family hand there.
Doug's Mike, World 6, Q.
This is a primetime special, WCVB 50 years.
Congratulations, Channel 5. Okay, we're into the final stretch, the final portion of the program, including 5 very important prestigious awards. And as a reminder, the only way to win a Sound Bites award is to enter the contest. So we hope that we have categories that fit every station, every format, so that you can enter early and enter often. That was Jordan's request. And now we move on to our radio and television stations of the year. Now, while all of you strive for excellence when it comes to serving your communities and providing excellent localism, these 4 stations stood out to the judges. In the category of Station of the Year Radio, the Merit Award goes to Pixie 103 Cape Cod's Rock.
WPXC Hyannis and WPXC Digital HD 1 Hyannis. On Cox and Media Station. Cape Cod's Rock. Pixie 103.
It's 66 in Hyannis. Good morning. I'm Peter Max. On Wednesday.
From P-Town to Plymouth, nobody rocks Cape Cod like Pixie 103.
Yes, that is right. I'm Doug Fry from Pixie 103, and I am down at Riverview Bait and Tackle in South Yarmouth. You gotta come down. It's their 50th anniversary, and don't forget all the proceeds from the day go to many charities. They do a lot of that here at Riverview.
Cape Cod, iconic rock, and the new rock of the future. Pixie 103.
Cape Cod's Rock, Pixie 103. I'm Lori live at the Cape Cod Fairgrounds. Bands for badges, and it's going to be an incredible day. And it is all to help our first responders.
Congratulations, Pixie. And now it's my honor to announce this year's Massachusetts Radio Station of the Year, and it is My FM 101.3 WMRC.
I got a feeling.
Come on down.
That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I feel it. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I feel it. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. Tonight's the night. Let's live it up. I got my money. Let's spin it up. Go out.
I think the whole radio station's here. I don't know who's running the back home, but that's a great turnout, guys. Well done. And now, Station of the Year television categories. We have 2 of them. The Merit Award goes to 22 News WWLP.
22 News has been informing and working for the people of Western Massachusetts for 70 years. Our dedication and commitment to our viewers never wavers as we strive to provide accurate and compelling information 24/7 on a variety of platforms, on the air, online at WWLP.com, and on the 22 News mobile app. Here are some of the highlights from our coverage of the past year.
The snow is just falling so fast that they have to keep coming back around because it just keeps piling up. And like you said, worst storm of the winter, that's for sure.
22 News is the foremost weather authority in Western Massachusetts. On March 14th, a nor'easter was moving in. The 22 News storm team issued a weather alert for significant snow and possible power outages.
The wind is something we got to watch for, gusts as high as 30 to 50 miles per hour later today that could create some more scattered power outages.
The 22 News storm team also keeps their eyes on the skies in the heat of summer, like this tornado warning on July 21st, 2022.
If you have not gotten to your safe place now, you certainly need to be doing that.
Congratulations, 22 News. And now, the Massachusetts Television Station of the Year. It is Boston 25 WFXT.
Well, for 2 days, we help gather school supplies for students and for teachers in need.
You got 2 bags full of school supplies.
People have been coming all day long.
We'd like to contribute $10,000.
We've got backpacks and we've got lunch boxes for kids. And we just want to thank everybody who's donating.
We can't thank you enough for helping us stop the bus.
Are stuffing the sleigh with unwrapped toys for Christmas in the city. They're making sure that kids, shelters, underprivileged kids everywhere have a gift on Christmas morning. We just had a guy from Salem. His name is Bill. He didn't want to talk about anything more than that. He shops all year round for toys to donate to charities like Christmas in the City. He just came down here and donated boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of toys. He tells us he starts buying toys the day after Christmas for the following Christmas that he can donate, and he pays for it all out of his own pocket. He is so generous that the folks at the U-Haul in Salem gave him the U-Haul to drive her. They donated the U-Haul to him to drive everything down here with. Truly remarkable in the spirit of the season. And that's what we're all about. That's what Christmas in the City is all about.
Congratulations. Well done, guys. Well, I have one final award to present tonight, and I also want to say thank you to Candy O'Terry, who normally does this, but she's somewhere warmer than here, and she asked me to fill in, and I said, of course, anything for you, Candy, and she had a lot to do with putting the script together. But we have one last award to present. It's a big one. It's the Broadcaster of the Year Award. Now, don't give it away, even though we already gave it away. One winner this year will join a list of amazing broadcasters, including Jack Williams, radio legend John Garabedian, Ed Perry, WATD's fine owner, the aforementioned Candy O'Terry, who worked at Magic 106, WCVB President and GM Bill Fine, GM and VP of 22 News Bill Pepin, Maddie in the Morning Matt Siegel, Harvey Leonard, WCVB weather guy, and in 2022, it was Beasley Media VP and Market Manager Mary Mena. These are all outstanding broadcasters and, more importantly, great people. By definition, this award goes to someone who displays an outstanding commitment to her job. She shows unwavering dedication to the evolution of broadcasting, literally breathes life into her work by being creative and enthusiastic, and above all, she's exceedingly committed to the community. I've known of her for many, many, many years. We've been up together in the same industry for a long time, but I have the greatest respect for her, and you, I'm sure, will as well. Our 2023 Broadcaster of the Year has embodied all of those qualities I mentioned throughout a long and very prosperous radio career in Boston on several stations. And let's take a look at the incredible career of a lady who goes by one name, and that's all you need, Pebbles.
Yo, Trey, drop the verse.
Having a 35-year career in one media market certainly isn't unheard of. But having a 35-year career with just 3 different jobs, all in your hometown, definitely shows amazing staying power for our Broadcaster of the Year honoree. Born in Wareham, Massachusetts, Pebbles went to Northeastern University as an engineering major. She admits that she really had no idea what that meant or what she would do with an engineering degree. In her sophomore year, it wasn't much of a surprise that Pebbles was almost kicked out of Northeastern because of her poor grades in the engineering classes. A meeting with her advisor led to an on-the-spot choice to switch to a communication major because it was the only thing that she could think of.
She didn't even think about ever being in radio, and it just happened. It just fell in her lap.
A star cheerleader at Northeastern, she first stepped into a radio station with an internship at WILD 1090. This led to her first official radio job as part of the WILD morning show. Pebbles quickly became known for her fun contributions to the show, big laugh, and reporting on celebrity gossip. She was Boston's original TMZ. As part of WILD's community outreach, Pebbles immediately found that giving back to her community made her happy, and she began reading to children at the Roxbury branch of the Boston Public Library. This was the initial spark for Pebbles' Reading Rockstar program, an outreach program that she continues by visiting schools to share the importance of literacy and her love of reading.
She loves kids. She loves, like, being an inspiration to them, and she loves reading books to kids. She likes to pass down, like, reading books. No matter what we are doing on air, with the radio station, she's always wondering, how can we fit this into a community effort, a community event? And it's just something that's always been very important to her, and I feel like moving forward will always be important to her.
In 1995, Pebbles made a big jump to the morning show on a new FM station, Jammin' 94.5, after program director Cadillac Jack loved her on-air presence.
I love Pebbles' laugh. Like, you can tell a lot about a person from their laugh. She has such a warm, gregarious laugh. And I mean, really, if you think about it, even here tonight, every single person here has a special one-on-one connection with Pebbles. And that takes somebody really dynamic and really excellent at establishing one-on-one connections to have every single person feel that unique bond.
Well, before I worked with her, she was like somebody who I listened to on the radio. So she was one of the personalities that I thought it was cool to be working at the same station with. So then when I got on mornings with her, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm on with Pebbles.
Eventually, she was partnered with Ramiro and Melissa to form the origins of the morning show that is now on Hot 96.9 and has lasted for 23 years together as one of Boston's highest rated morning shows.
I always wanted to do a morning show, and when I started kind of envisioning the morning show, she was the person that I envisioned as my co-host. I don't know if it was because she was just who I listened to, or maybe I could see the future.
Well, Pebbles and I actually got hired within one day of each other back in January of 2013. And we were about to sign on the radio station, Hot 96.9. I see Pebbles next to me. We had worked together all this time. Why would you not put the one woman who could relate to women of all diverse backgrounds in Boston on a radio station that's targeting women of all diverse backgrounds as the very first voice that they hear?
While at Hot, Pebbles has been honored with 2 Gracie Awards, both recognizing her public affairs program, Voices. Across her career, Pebbles has worked with many charities like the Boys and Girls Club, Girl Scouts of Eastern Mass, Project Bread, and Media Girls.
She really is somebody who I can credit a lot of my career to because of the way that she welcomed me into the industry.
Even after 35 years of waking up extremely early, Pebbles still loves keeping Boston listeners entertained with her crew of Ramiro, Melissa, and Leroy.
Ultimate radio partner. I have to say that. I mean, she really is for me.
Through all these years in the business, still the same Pebbles. And that's what, people like about her.
She's hardworking, she loves to connect with people, and she loves what she does. She's also been someone who's been inspiring, not just being a broadcaster, but being in the community. And everything she's done for the city of Boston, this award is long overdue.
Staying power in Boston radio and media, 35 years and counting.
Cannot think of a better person to become the broadcaster of the year here in Boston, here in the state of Massachusetts. Congratulations, Febs.
Congratulations, Pebbles. This award was made for you. You deserve every bit of recognition. Love you.
Congratulations, Pebbles. I know you're not big for recognition from people. You don't like that type of thing, but this is something that you definitely deserve. So take time to celebrate it and appreciate it because we appreciate you.
Congratulations, Auntie. I'm so proud of you.
Congratulations, Pebbles. This is your night.
As last year's Broadcaster of the Year, I can't think of anyone more worthy to pass this prestigious award on to. Pebbles, I am so grateful to have been able to work with you for so many years, and I am honored to present to you the Massachusetts Broadcasters Association 2023 Broadcaster of the Year Award.
How about it, Pebbles? Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe they make you speak after watching this. I'm like, okay. Scott, thank you, and Joe for putting that together. I know that was a lot of work. Thank you. It means a lot. Congratulations to all of the winners today and to all the past winners of this award, especially Mary, who won last year. Following in your footsteps is just an incredible honor. To the Massachusetts Broadcasters Association, I thank you. I still cannot believe that this is happening. I guess that's why I didn't finish writing my speech until like a few hours ago. The very first time that I was on the radio at WILD was a little traumatic for me. It was 4:30 in the morning. I wrote down everything that I was going to say, hit the mic, read it word for word, and I was done. And then I proceeded to have a little bit of a meltdown. I was like, I hate this. I never want to do this again. This is awful. And I had forgot to turn off the mic. So it went out all over the air. It was horrible. So, you know, the fact that I'm standing here being recognized as something that started with I hate this just feels unbelievable. As you saw in there, radio really was an accidental career for me. I went to Northeastern for engineering. I failed. I studied communications because why not? Never did anything radio related until my senior year when I needed 1 credit to graduate. I reached out to Coach Willie May, who you saw, who I met as a cheerleader, and he had always been telling me, just come and do an internship. And I was like, no, I'm not into radio. Well, I finally did, and then was put on this path that I had no idea would become this incredible career. While most people these days know me for my work on Jammin' and Hot, I really need to go back, and I would love people just to know that if there was no AM 1090 WILD in my life, I do not believe that I would be the radio personality that I am today. There was Coach that, you know, gave me the opportunity, Elroy in the AM, who taught me so much about what a morning show should be. He trained me. I remember he gave me a cassette air check, we remember those, of Lady D. And while he wasn't telling me to be her, he showed me what I could be in a male-dominated field, so I always appreciated that. The Captain Stephen Hill, who was an incredible mentor and someone who believed in me more than I believed in myself. WILD was this little daytime radio station owned by one man. It gave me the foundation of my career, and it was there that I learned about the importance of serving the community and the power of connection between radio personalities and listeners. Well, if WILD was the foundation, the building blocks came one morning when I was in the studio alone, picked up the request line, and heard a man say, "Are you alone?" That man was Cadillac Jack. When I tell you I was terrified to leave WILD, but the 17 years that followed that, you know, Are You Alone, were life-changing. Cadillac, everything that I learned from you at Jammin' and Beyond about radio and about life, it would take all day for me to express here, but I just want you to know that having you as a boss and more importantly as a friend has made my life richer, so thank you. I made lifelong friends at Jammin', especially my early promotions and marketing people, Dennis, Shailene, and Sandy. I just want you to know that I love you. You've helped me grow, not only in my career, but as a person. And then let's fast forward a little to Jammin' when I met this young, very loud, full of life blonde woman named Melissa. I'll save all the crazy stories for another time, but we've been through a lot together, and I just want to say thank you for your friendship and to let you know how absolutely proud I am of you. You are such a talent, and you continue to grow every single day, and it's been great to have you challenge me and to help me move out of my comfort zone. Ramiro, our first show together with Melissa was this, it was like this live on location show, our very first show together. And we were all in pajamas, and I was just incredibly nervous. And we hadn't worked together doing mornings. So here was this young, hungry, take on the world guy who was about to live his dream. And I was someone who didn't like change or unpredictable situations, which was exactly what I was walking into. Well, 20 years have passed since then, and honestly, everyone here already knows about your mind-blowing talent, so I won't speak about that. But I just want you to know that my favorite thing about you has been watching you grow into this incredible man and such a great father that you are today. I feel lucky to have been able to see and watch your 5 kids grow up, and you grow up along with them. And you just are an inspiring father and husband, and I'm just so proud of who you are today. So thank you. And also thank you for calling to wake me up every morning, because anyone who says you get used to getting up in the mornings, they lie, because it's not easy. Well, those jamming building blocks brought me to what I can only describe as the icing on the cake of my career at Hot 96.9. Having the honor, as you heard, of being able to be the voice to sign on a brand new station 10 years ago was just an honor that I can't even begin to express. During those 10 years, radio has changed so much with challenges and experiences that once again have forced me to kind of move out of my comfort zone. For 5 of those 10 years, you saw in the video, one of the highlights for me was developing the public service show, Voices with Pebbles. My partner in the project was Leroy Irvin here, who was the producer of the show. And we interviewed some incredible, really interesting and influential people in Boston. Leroy, I thank you for doing that show with me. I'm so proud of what we accomplished. And I'm so proud of you, watching you develop into this incredible personality on your own, and for being a special part, an important part of our morning show. God, so many people to thank. Of course, Mary, as I mentioned earlier, thank you for all of your support over the years. You are the best. My Hot family, I just love and appreciate you all. Doug and Aaron and Mark Clark, Tim, Athanasia, my favorite new mother. Scott, thank you so much for your friendship and the many times that you've talked me off the ledge. I appreciate that. Everyone in front of the mic and behind the scenes, you are just so appreciated for everything you do. And finally, to my family, who's at table 9 over here, my aunts and uncles, my cousins, my goddaughters, my nieces and nephews. What would I do without you? You are my everything, and I am so lucky to have you. To my mother, the incredible Henrietta, you are a real one. She listens every morning just to make sure that I got to work. She used to wake up every Sunday to listen to Voices and, of course, give me feedback on the show. And the most telling thing about my mother and her support was when I told her that I won this award, she immediately said, "Well, it's about time." You have always supported me in everything that I do, and have made more sacrifices than I even know of. And even though Daddy and Ruthie aren't here with us today, I know they are here with us today. Thank you again to the Mass Broadcasters Association for this incredible honor of a lifetime, for continuing to support and protect the broadcasters of this state. Thank you to Beasley Media Group for giving me this opportunity to continue on this journey. And finally, I just want to say thank you to my high school guidance counselor, Sister Emma Jean, for telling me that I was too loud and I talked too much, because who knew you could turn that into a career? Thank you.
It's so great to honor broadcasters who are real broadcasters. Everyone in this room, every winner, and every nominee deserves a congratulations. Just a couple of quick notes and then the outro, and we're out of here, folks. Or you can stick around and kibitz a little bit. Special thanks to the staff at the Sheraton, who always do an amazing job. Food was delicious, well served. Don't forget to tag your posts with hashtag SoundBites2023. And Terrence, our photographer, is standing by. If you'd like to take some pictures, you can print them now while you wait. So do take them up on that offer. And a couple of calendar notes. June 13th of 2024 is the Hall of Fame induction luncheon. And next November, Sound Bites 2024 will be back. Dear friends, thank you so much. Good night and stay well.